Hi there, thanks for watching this video. Today I'm going to be talking about why in the beginning of your startup or small business you should create your own marketing content rather than outsource it to so-called professionals to do it for you. I'll be going over the benefits of that and 5 reasons why you need to start out doing the content yourself rather than paying someone else to do it. But before I get into that, I'm Timothy Weir, the founder of Fearless Content Group. We're a small content marketing company based in Nashville, Tennessee. You can check us out at fearlessgroup.co. That's our website. And we're on social media. You can see all the links in the box down there. Uh, be sure to check those out. And if you like the video, give us a like and a subscribe, and you'll get our videos as soon as we publish them. And you'll get those, in real time. By the way, one note before I get into this, I have two cats running around the room here. They wanted to hang out in here with me, so here we are. If you see any in the background, be sure to give them a wave and say hi. All right, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and get into the content and the topic of today's video. Why you need to start making your own marketing content in the beginning rather than hiring someone else to do it. And I have 5 reasons why that's the case. The first reason stems from the fact that content marketing is a long-term game. You're not going to get short-term results through blogs, through social media, organic social media at least, through videos or podcasts or anything like that. You're not going to get results quickly. There's a study that I read recently that says it takes anywhere from 6 months to 2 years before you start to get a positive ROI on that. And it makes sense why that's the case. People have so many businesses and companies and publications and just other people trying to get their attention. For most people, who they follow online is somebody who they followed for a while, or they happen to find something that was interesting and they've just recently started following them. But it's somebody who they have a connection with, whether that's through longevity or through the engaging content that they put out. It takes time to earn an audience's attention. Anyone who's done any kind of content creation will be able to tell you that. So if your business, especially if you're a brand new company who nobody really knows who you are as a founder or even as a marketing leader in that company, and the brand is just starting to take off, you're just starting to get people to notice it, it's going to take time for you to start to see the audience build around your company. I've talked before about why you should post content as frequently as possible. And for a lot of companies, that means putting stuff out on a daily basis. You don't have to put out the same thing on a daily basis, but you're at least on social media every day. You're putting out, blogs on a weekly or a couple times a week. You're putting out videos and maybe doing a podcast as well. So that's a lot of content to produce before you start getting results. Especially if you're on the longer term end of that. It takes closer to 2 years. It's really just a numbers game when it comes to when you should start producing content. If you know it's going to take you 2 years to get to that point, or it could take you 2 years, then you should plan on your content marketing, building that traction, and it being a 2-year long process. Which means the earlier you start, the faster you'll get to the results. It's really as simple as that. So really point number one, why you should make your own content at first, is you can't afford to wait till you have the money to hire a professional. You can definitely do that later on in the process. We'll talk in our next video about signs that it's time to bring on somebody to help with your content marketing and when that's the case. But you really can't afford until you reach that point. To wait until you reach that point, at least, to start doing it. You need to start building that traction. Even if you're a startup who's been very successful at raising funds, chances are your funds in the early days are still fairly limited, and you've got other things to hire. You've got to bring on salespeople. You've got to invest in your product. Maybe you have some PR goals that you need to hit, and you need to invest in that. There's a lot to invest in the beginning, and sometimes paying somebody to write your content for you may not be the best thing in those very early days. So but you can't wait. You have to go ahead and start. You have to start putting stuff up online because you'll get the audience, you'll get the visibility, and you'll get the brand awareness that much quicker. So that's point number one. Um, Point number two. If you're a founder or a number 4, number 5 hire as a marketing leader at a startup, one of the great advantages you get to posting your own content, where you're either writing it yourself or you're sitting in front of the camera like I am right now, is you get to establish yourself as the authority directly and quickly. When you're first starting your company, you're selling yourself more than anything, especially if you're a founder. Hold on one second. I should have put my phone on Do Not Disturb before doing this video. All right, I'm going to do that real quick. Okay, there we go. All right. You'll notice it saves me a lot of time to just record all these videos in one go. So I am just going to do that right now. And, you get the live, raw, unedited experience. And I'll get to why that's important in just a minute. But yeah, you're establishing yourself as an authority. So it makes sense that your audience should hear from you as frequently as possible. And there's no better way to do that than to make your own content. So there's reason number 2. Number 3, and I just demonstrated this with the my phone going off in the middle of this recording. You get to demonstrate authenticity. If you're a brand new company, I don't think anybody reasonably expects you to be shiny and new and polished and have all this great professionally developed content. You're not. People expect that you're just doing what you can. You're scrapping together your business and in those very early days. So it makes sense that when you create your own content, you're demonstrating some authenticity. You're showing people really what your business looks like behind the scenes. I think too many people spend too much time trying to, you fake it before you make it. That's a common thing you hear, especially in this world. But you don't really need that. I think people want to see the reality of what's going on behind the scenes, because then, not only are you building trust, or not only are you building authenticity, but you're building trust with your audience as well. There is a kind of an exception to this, and I'll use my own company as an example. Here at Fearless, we are a content marketing company that specializes in creating written content. And with that comes the fact that while I can sit here and record a video for you that's a little rough around the edges, when I write blogs for our blog, I tend to take a little bit more time to make sure those are nice and polished, because that's our area of expertise and that's what we're selling. Conversely, if you're a video marketing company, recording a video like this may not be the best thing. It may be, it depends on your strategy, but you do want to demonstrate that you have the expertise to do what you're going to say you're going to do. And if creating content is your specialty, yeah, you probably need to step it up a little bit. But for a lot of you, I'm sure that content marketing is not what you offer. You probably offer something else as a product or a service. So that really isn't relevant. But if you are in a marketing, if you are offering marketing services, then you probably should step it up a little bit. Another, the fourth reason is you get firsthand experience, which has the effect of giving you better insights when it is time to hire somebody. You know what it takes to make the content. You know what the reasonable expectations are. If you've been sitting there writing your own blogs for a couple years, you've been sitting there writing your own blogs. When you hire a content writer, you kind of know what to expect. You know how long it takes to write, 1,200 words or 3,000 words, or even just 100 words. You know how much to expect of your writer, and the same goes for video or audio as well. You have that reasonable expectation. And the other thing is, when you're doing it yourself, you know where the gaps in your company currently exist. You know where if you have a good videographer on your team, or you have a really great social media person on your team, you probably don't need to outsource those particular skill sets. Maybe you need somebody who can write blogs for you. Of course, that's a self-serving example because that's what we do at Fearless. But it could be you need somebody to make videos for you as well. Whatever that is, you can have specific gaps that you know you need to fill. Whereas if you're not doing it yourself, you might just think of content marketing as one broad category, and it might be tempting to go outsource it to an agency or something that's going to be a lot more expensive than if you're a bit more focused and targeted in how you do that. And the fifth reason is if you are promoting content yourself, well, if you're making your content yourself, you're probably promoting it yourself, and that way you get real-time feedback from your audience directly. I have said many, many times, and I'm going to keep saying it, I'm probably going to find a way to work it into every single video that I make, that the number one metric of content quality is whether your audience is engaged with it, whether it's interesting or whether it's relevant to them. And when you make your own content, you get to see that in real time. That way, whether it's you can see whether people are visiting your website or watching your video, you can see the engagement metrics. Are people liking it? Are they sharing it? Are they retweeting it? If that's the case, it's meaningful enough to them that they want to share it with their audience. And then, of course, there's comments and replies. You get the real-time feedback, the qualitative feedback from your audience that way. Yeah. So to just recap real quick, the 5 reasons why you should start making your own content at first when you're in your company or when your startup is in the early days. First, the sooner you start, the sooner you'll see results. The second is you get to establish yourself as an authority quickly and directly. Third, you demonstrate authenticity and build trust. Fourth, you get firsthand experience, meaning that when it is time to outsource, you will be able to set reasonable expectations and know which gaps specifically you need to fill. And 5, you get real-time feedback from your audience. I hope this video was helpful to you. If it was, feel free to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And again, all of our social media is below and our website is down there. So check it out, and hope that's helpful to you. Now, go do your thing.